Hello everyone, welcome back to another Honkai Impact third video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the best F2P Foundry Stigmatas that you guys can basically forge in order to basically not waste any crystals, not any crystals, but any resources for no reason. So we're going to be taking a look obviously at the physical, lightning and fire, and finally the ice options, and we're going to go over why they're good. And yeah, that's basically it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Honkai Impact 3rd and Reverse 1999 videos. And as always, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so starting off with the physical options. So first off, these are basically these, if you guys don't really want to listen to me, these are basically the stigmatas that I'd recommend investing in the Foundry. They provide a lot of utility in terms of burst damage and just overall really good physical damage. But taking a look at the first one that I recommend is the Leer Bottom, which is a really cheap stigmata that you guys can get. It basically says at 100% or higher HP, gain 25 physical damage. So it's just overall a really good buff for physical damage. If you guys just started out playing the game, you can get this with basically really cheap G1 crystallite with a bunch of Honkai pieces and SS Imaginon and Ether Fuel. So overall a just really good stigmata. Then we have the Marco Polo set. As you guys all know, Marco Polo, it has been a really good stigmatas from the start of the game, especially in the early game. It only needs 130 SS Imaginon, which is something that's extremely cheap. It has a really good 2-piece set bonus. It basically says when combo hits exceeds 25 combo or charge attack deals 250% attack of bonus physical damage on hit. So it's just an overall really good physical stigmata. The top, the bottom, and the mid is definitely recommended. I think the middle one is the best one. It just says it gives you crit damage, and when it exceeds 25 count, when you hit 25 times, you gain another 10% crit damage. So it just increases your crit damage, which is really good. It basically is a weaker version of the Pericles. So Marco Polo top gives physical damage, and Marco Polo bottom gives you SP. So overall, every single one of them are really good. They provide SP, crit damage, and physical damage, and that's basically what you need in physical stigmata. And then we have the Michelangelo set. This is something that I kind of invested in a bit, and I actually really liked. I used to use it in Shadow Dash Mai when... sorry, not Mai. May, when basically she has her augment. And it was really good actually. So what it says is, for every basic attack, including charge and combo, this is for every single Michelangelo set, Michelangelo piece, increase your physical damage by whatever for 2 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. So the stacking up to 5 times also applies for every piece in the set. So for example, look, this stacks up to 5 times and increases your crit rate, and then this one stacks up to 5 times and increases your crit damage. This is basically the same as Marco Polo, but I feel like Marco Polo is just a way cheaper option and a way better option than Michelangelo. But if you guys don't really want to focus on Marco Polo or already have it, you guys can have the option of focusing on Michelangelo, which is really good. Next, we have the Dark set, which I think is the best Foundry in terms of burst damage. So what it says is, obviously there's different effects for each piece. So the top says you gain crit rate, and after entry or unleashing a weapon skill, the host gains 4% crit rate for 9 seconds. This effect denotes that. This is pretty good effect for any users that use weapon skill, mainly like burst users, obviously. So stuff like Sealy and Senti and stuff like that. So the mid one is the best one basically. So ultimate or burst attack deals 14% more total damage, which is really good. Total damage is basically universal damage in terms of damage, and during burst mode the host gains 14% total damage and another 0.9% total damage per second after unleashing ultimate or entering burst mode, and it stacks up to 9 times. So it basically goes up to 9%. and it lasts 9 seconds, during which effect cannot be triggered again. So this is a really I would suggest going for the mid piece and then focusing on the other ones, because this is the best one out of all the pieces in the set, because it provides so much more, so much utility in just one Stigmata, and I think it's definitely worth going for. The bottom piece reads the host gains 11% of physical damage, and after ultimate evasion or triggering evasion skill, this is gonna happen quite often, obviously, because you wanna time fracture or time stop. The host gains a bunch of SP, which is really good. So I would definitely recommend going for mid, then bot, then top if you wanna complete the entire set. And finally, the best Stigmata that's physical is obviously Elysia. She is known for being the best physical Foundry Stigmata in the game. So if you are at the end of the game, definitely try and get the G4 as soon as you can. So I'm gonna read out if you guys don't know what it does. So it reads: physical damage is increased by 12%. Crit damage from basic combo and charge attack is increased by 10%. This is a really simple and really good effect to have. For a top Stigmata, it's actually really good. It gives you a bunch of crit damage and physical damage in one Stigmata for basic combo and charge. So any attack that you do is really good. The mid one says increase the physical damage by 15%, and ultimate evasion skills has a shorter cooldown. This is really good as well, because you can basically spam your ultimate evasions. That way you'll be able to time fracture a bunch more, which makes it really easy for you to get higher scores in Memorial Arena or Exalted Abyss. But the physical damage increase is what makes it really good. And then finally, the bottom piece, which reads: total damage is increased by 12%, and crit damage is increased by 8%. Charge attack boosts crit damage by 8%. Overall, really good Stigmata. This is only obviously the 4-star. It's gonna increase as you increase the mini stars and the 5 stars, so you'll be able to basically increase the damage for each Stigmata. The set bonus is basically what makes it really good. The total damage increases by 25%. On hit, charge attacks makes every attack in the next 5 seconds deal 20% of physical damage. So charge attacks and charge attack increase your damage, and total damage is increased by 25%. And host takes 20% less total damage. This is also really okay, to be honest, not really that crazy, but this is a really good 2-piece bonus. So definitely try and get the 2-piece bonus as soon as you can. The 3-piece is also really good. Crit damage from rage attack is increased by 30%. So stuff like the Elysia Valkyrie is really good on her, but also Silver Ring is Silver Ring is ice damage. Sorry. Any ranged attack that is physical is really good. Casting ultimate makes ranged attack deal 20% of bonus physical damage for 10 seconds. So, and then charge attack restores also HP, which is something that is not really relevant, but it could come up. So these small effects makes it so that it's really good. So definitely try and get the G4 Stigmata, as it provides so much utility, and it just makes it so that every single physical damage dealer carries for you. So try and get that as soon as you can. And something that I also recommend for myself that is extremely cheap is Fuhua Pride. So Fuhua Pride is only 30 SS Imaginon. This is for newer players, and what it reads is you gain 15% of melee damage. However, for each enemy kill, the total damage received by the host increases by 7%. This is not gonna matter, right? So because you're not gonna get hit at the start of the game, this effect will stack up to 10 times. So you're gonna deal you're just gonna gain a bunch of physical damage, which is okay, and you're not gonna get hit, which, because it's the start of the game, you basically are kind of OP at the start, and then once you proceed to the game, missions are gonna get harder and harder. But it is a really good F2P option to consider. So these are the physical damage, physical Stigmata that I recommend. We're gonna go over the ice and the fire, as well as the lightning. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so taking a look at our fire recommendation, obviously we have the Fushi, bot, which funny enough you need you need the ice crystallite in order to get this, because it basically provides a bunch of it's basically a versatile stigmata that is applied everywhere. Obviously it's only applied in fire damage, because what it says attacks against ignited enemies gain 30% elemental damage. So make sure to play it in an ignite team, where you play Serene, I, and or Spinal Astra, so you can proc the ignite and obviously proc the stigmata. So it's really cheap to get. You just need a bunch of obviously blue crystallite and the Armada, the Ranger creds with the SS Imaginon, and obviously other fuel, so you can get the stigmata for cheap. So obviously then you have the Fuhua musician set. It's overall a really good support stigmata to have. It could be used, I'm pretty sure it could be used for DPS, but it's mostly for support. I think you can get this for free. Also, it's really cheap to have, and it's really affordable. Overall, really good at the start of the game, but obviously once you start getting, once you progress into the game, you don't really need the stigmata anymore. There's obviously better options. Then we have the Margrave set, which is also a really good support stigmata to have. It provides a bunch of elemental damage for overall, for the team overall, ice, lightning, and fire. And it also gives a bunch of total damage or debuff to the enemy with its 3-piece set. So make sure to, if you want to make use of the stigmata, make sure to get the top first and then the bottom and the mid in order to just proc it as much as you can. Then we have Talus mid as our best option, I think. I'm pretty sure if you are really free to play and just started playing the game, I think Talus mid is one of the best stigmata in terms of fire damage. What it reads is, it basically says gain 10% total damage multiplier. Every hit on enemy will cause it to take 1% more fire damage from the host for 5 seconds, and it stacks up to 10 times. So obviously this is only the 4-star, but once you max it out, it's gonna deal a bunch more damage. For a metal stigmata, it's really good. It gives a bunch of total damage multiplier, and provides a good amount of fire damage for your fire DPS, obviously. So definitely a really good stigmata. I don't really recommend getting the top and the bottom, because they don't really provide any good utility as much as the Talus mid. So try and prioritize this, but if you want to get obviously the full set, you can go ahead and get the top and bottom, but make sure to prioritize the middle first. Then we have Leeuwenhawk. Leeuwenhawk is also really good. It's just a really good fire stigmata. Gives you fire damage, gives you total damage for the top piece, for the middle piece as well. Gain more total damage and more fire damage, and then the bottom as well. So you gain more fire damage and more total damage. So just overall a really good stigmata. There's not really something to talk about in Leeuwenhawk, because it's just really simple and just really good overall. So once you finish getting Talus mid, try and focus more on Leeuwenhawk. They were available in the battle pass last update, so if you manage to get this, then it's really good. So then obviously we have the Serene stigmata. These are really good for ignites. You gain more damage through ignite and weapon active. Obviously this is going to be really good in Serene, and Serene is also a really good a free to play and a really good Valkyrie that you can use for ignite withers in Exalted Abyss and in Memorial. So definitely something you can consider. I managed to get the bottom and the middle piece. I just need the top piece in order to finish the entire set. But if you don't really want to focus on that, then just Leeuwenhawk should be okay, but it's definitely a really good option. So these are the fire stigmatas that I recommend. I don't think there's any other ones that I'm missing. There might be, obviously, but if you guys can let me know in the comments down below, that would be really nice. But we're gonna go over the ice stigmatas, and then then the lightning, and then we're gonna basically end it there. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so taking a look at our ice stigmatas, I definitely try and recommend getting Nohime at the start. She's a really good overall ice stigmata to have. This one doesn't, it's just really simple, to be honest, but obviously at the start of the game you don't really want something that's really complex. It just is gives you a bunch of ice damage. Attacks gain 50% of attack of ice damage. So this is really, really simple. Basic intelligence gives rhyme trauma. Rhyme trauma, I'm pretty sure, is the trauma for ice. And then, because I'm not really familiar with the terminologies for rhyme and stuff like that, please let me know in the comments down below if this is it. And then basic and combo charge attack deals more total damage to frozen enemies. Obviously, this is going to be really good into freezing Valkyries, which applies into every single ice type. So I would recommend obviously focusing on the middle, then the top, and then the bottom. So for every moved slowed or frozen enemies on the battlefield, the host gains 5% movement speed and 15% of ice damage, and it stacks up to 3 times. This is also really, really good. Obviously, Nohime is a really good stigmata to have, and definitely a must. So, Jin Shentan is also a really good stigmata. The top and mid are the best ones because mainly of the 2Ps. It's not really the top and the mid by themselves that make it really good. Is just that the 2-piece bonus is really good. So what it reads, it says attacks create a blue phoenix field that lasts for 6 seconds. So it's gonna be a small like field that's gonna be on the battlefield, and allies within the field gain 30% elemental damage, while enemies within it take bonus elemental damage. This is super, super good. You're gonna be debuffing your enemy while also buffing your entire team with elemental damage, which makes it really, really good. So definitely try and get the middle and the top piece, and you'll be able to be good to go. So then we have the cheap one, which is Rasputin. This is at the start of the game. If you really want an ice support, not ice support, ice stigmata, that's really good. You can go ahead and get Rasputin. It's just overall really good. There are some stuff that are not ice related into the stigmata, but obviously there are some. So obviously the middle gives you more ice damage. This one gives you more ice damage as well, and I'm pretty sure the top one doesn't give you ice damage. Yes, so you may gain more. Oh, you may gain more total damage on frozen enemies or slowed enemies. So yeah, this I obviously kind of synergize with the middle and the bottom piece. So if you really want to get a good ice type stigmata, Rasputin is the way to go. And then we have Robert Perry as our G2. This is not really recommended, but it is needed to get, you know, the best ones, which is Anna Shariak and Willows. So while you're trying to get to Anna Shariak, Robert Perry is a good option to have. You know, it's obviously really good, but there are some better options later on in into your Honkai Impact journey. There's Anna Shariak, which is a really, really good ranged. I'm pretty sure it's a ranged. Was in host? Sorry, within 5 minutes. No, it's not. It's not the range. It's the other way around. It's a really good ice type melee stigmata. So anything related to, let's say, what's a really good ice type? Hersher of Reason. Hersher of Reason is a good ice type DPS that's also melee. So Anna Shariak will be able to proc really, really well. And then once you are done with Anna Shariak, Willows is the best option. So Willows is obviously the best ice type stigmata to go for. So definitely try and get that as soon as you can. So that's basically it for the ice type stigmata. There's not really much to talk about, just good stigmatas to have, and the other ones aren't really that good, to be honest. If I'm missing anything, please also let me know in the comments down below. So we're gonna go over the lightning types, and then any support stigmata that I'm gonna mention are at the end. So let's get right into it. And finally, for the lightning stigmatas, we're gonna start off with the cheaper ones. First off, we have the Darwin set. This is just a really cheap stigmata to have. It's only 125 SS Imagine on each, so it's gonna give you a bunch of buffs that's not related to lightning, but the top one gives you lightning damage. So at the start of the your account, obviously you're gonna be needing a good lightning damage stigmata, and Darwin is definitely something that you can consider. For the second one is the Monet set. The ones that I do recommend are the top and the middle one. because they are just really good stigmata that you can use. They provide a bunch of lightning damage and total damage multipliers, which is really good. And money mid as well. You gain less total damage reduction with more lightning damage, which is something that you can consider as well. The set bonus is also really good, but the bottom one is the least important one, so definitely try and get the top and the middle one first, and then once you are done, you can get the bottom one if you want. So then the G3 stigmata is the Ishikawa one. This one is also really good. Provides a bunch of lightning damage as well. It's pretty it's a big bunch of text, but it basically says more lightning damage and then less total damage reduction, and then you have a bunch of stacks. You can stack up lightning damage and stuff like that. So this is the same for, I didn't put the middle one, but this is the same for the middle and the bottom one. So the host deals more lightning damage. The first attack unleashed after ultimate evasion deals more damage, and then another if under Kenbu mode. This is obviously a keyword that is regarding the stigmata set. It's obviously always like this into newer stigmatas that get released each update. But I digress. It's really good stigmata you can use. Obviously not the best one. It was the best one once it came out, but then Handle kind of made it so that it's the best stigmata. This is really good into DPS stigmata. Obviously it provides a bunch of lightning damage and increases QTE lightning damage for teammates, so it can be used for support as well. Obviously it can be used as Eden, and Eden is a really good support lightning damage, but I would really recommend using these stigmatas on lightning DPS. So G4 Handle is the best one. There's also if I'm not mistaken, let me go check and go to G1 as well. There is Nagamitsu, which is also a really good stigmata, but it's just easier to get than money. So if you don't really want to invest any stigmatas on your resources on money, you can basically focus on Nagamitsu instead. So definitely something that you consider. And then finally for the support stigmatas that I recommend, there's not many. There's obviously the Gluttony set. The main one that I recommend is the Teresa Gluttony. She basically what it does is that you drop candy on the floor during the battlefields, and then once you pick them up, you're gonna be getting more total damage for the entire team. So it's something that's really good. And as a support, you can basically just do a bunch of attacks over and over again with the support character, and then pick them up with the DPS, and that way you can be dealing more and more damage. So there's also Bronya Sloth bottom. It's kind of okay, but I don't really recommend it. It's something that you can use it if you wanna basically forge it, I guess. But there's not really that much. I've kind of focused on Lear as well, and then on Fushi bottom in the other ones. But yeah, that's basically it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Honkai Impact 3 content. If you found this useful, and obviously if there's any stuff that I've been missing in the video or I didn't explain well, please also let me know in the comments down below. I'll try my best to be as concise as possible and more understanding in the comments. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.